Alright, so I did some running. As you can see, my vitality is, well, at least it's not pitiful anymore. There are two more things I'm going to do before we turn in the right. And I need it to be morning for both of them, so... we gotta drop off that Lethe water that we picked up. And then we're gonna visit Katrina one more time, because I went ahead and did some research on wooing her. And it is possible, but you gotta be pretty good at it. Will you grab a seat? God. Even Anne was getting sick of you waiting to find a seat. It looks like she walked through the table.
The cooks have fixed something really special. Pancakes topped with fruit. They started to make a salmon souffle, but they didn't have any salmon. They did get a good deal from Andre on some anchovies, though. Sal wanted to make a blueberry pie, but Merrick was selling bananas and grapes, so she made those into a pie instead. Just as Rover was taking the souffle out of the oven, Tony called Tessie a grumpy old toadstool, so she threw the pie at him.
I would too.
She got him square on the face, and the fruit pie pan fell on the souffle, squashing it flat. So now we have anchovy pancakes and baked fruit. Hope you like it.
And I wonder why I'm the only person staying here. All right. I need some flowers. Can I just take some flowers from the... Thank you. I'm also going to need to grab some chocolate. And possibly a wedding ring, even though it's not time for that yet.
Welcome, he who will be king.
That's right, that's my name, baby. Did I already buy the wedding ring? I did. I already bought that wedding ring.
Welcome. Well,
We've met many times, buddy.
Forgive me, but alas, my price, that is very...
Bargaining for my tokens of affection.
Check this out. I took that black lotus you brought me and mixed just a little pinch into my poison cure pills. Now they're cosmically attuned to that poison and will homeopathically shut it down. I'll just swap these for any of the old poison cure pills you still have. You might want to get some more of the new ones, just in case.
Groovy, but I got this for you.
Purest river water, just like nature made it. This should be just the ticket for curing Erasmus and Chakra. Right, Julinar, my sweet?
I do not think that even the waters of Lethe can bring them out of their coma, but it will let them sleep properly, and in time, the drug will cleanse itself from their bodies. Thank you for bringing us the Lethe water.
You are welcome. I'm gonna buy another poison cure pill just in case.
I'd really like to be able to sell stuff that cheap. I could even buy it. Sure.
Could probably use healing potions and the like, but I'll wait for now. I just need to check one more thing. Yep. I'm glad I held on to that amulet of defense, because apparently Katrina's got a thing for it. So we're going to go visit Katrina, give her some presents, and then we'll start the next rite, which will hopefully go quickly, although we've got some stuff to do during that rite. It is also the next to the last rite, so we got that to look forward to. I'm going to take this time while we're traveling to tell you about my plans for the LP series. Obviously, this is the last quest for glory. And then I'm going to go back to making a couple other movie reviews. And then I've got a mystery project I'm going to try and work on. I'm not sure how well this one's going to work out, but we'll see. I do eventually plan to do LPs of all of the Sierra games. And the next series I will do will be Leisure Suit Larry and then Space Quest.
Is this not a place of beauty, this island? It is in constant battle against the sea for survival, yet it stands defiantly and proudly. I am relearning the pleasures of being alive. I had forgotten what warmth feels like after all those years of being cold. I am also learning to love the smell of the sea and the feel of the spray upon my face. I believe I shall enjoy living here on this island.
I could help you with the whole getting warm thing.
I do not know why I risked my destruction to save you. It was a very foolish act. Still, I do not regret it. Even trapped in the nightmares of Hades, I did not regret my actions. Perhaps one day we shall trade our knowledge of spells more freely. I do not quite trust you with some of the things of which I know.
Really? Because I just saved you from Hades. And by the way, can we address how hard you are to seduce into being my wife? Again, saved you from Hades. I'm sorry, but if somebody went into the realms of death to bring me back to life, I'd pretty much be willing to marry them.
You are quite capable of ruling this kingdom. You will be a most powerful king. Silmaria needs your courage and your strength. Perhaps when I am finished building my castle, I shall invite you to visit. Few will those be that shall enter my home. I will always value my privacy. Return again sometime when darkness shrouds the sunlight. I shall look forward to meeting with you again.
I got you flowers.
Flowers? It has been ages since I could bear their sweet perfume. It is a pleasure to enjoy flowers once more. I thank you for these.
You know what's better than the blood of your victims? Sokolatika.
What is this? Oh, a candy of some sort. Ah, its sensuous, smooth taste is a delight. My thanks for this.
Yeah, I know what pleases a woman.
I have no need of jewelry or baubles, but let me judge. Ah, there is a strong magical aura to this. It is protective magic. I have felt very vulnerable now that I am alive again. This will be an aid and a comfort. My thanks to you. You have given me more than enough fine things. I thank you for your generosity.
That's the code for I've given her all the gifts she requires. So now it's just a matter of talking to her at the appropriate times, which is right after I start the next rite, right before I turn in the next rite, and then right after the last rite begins, which is also when she'll marry me if the game has not gone horribly bugged. So back to LP series, I do plan to do Leisure Suit Larry, then Space Quest, then maybe Police Quest, so I can end with King's Quest, since that's, you know, the granddaddy of adventure game series. Then, depending on how I feel, maybe I'll switch over to some other series. I really do enjoy adventure games, though. So, you know, there's the LucasArts adventure games, there's Simon the Sorcerer, there's Discworld adventure games. There's a lot of options. And all this running around is going to build up my stamina as well, so my vitality.
It looks like water to me. I will trust your word in this matter.
I'm pretty trustworthy. You return to your room for some much-needed rest and relaxation, then you're summoned. That sounded like
the underworld is
a
a
sad
place of
fanfare.
death, and few that live return to speak of its darkness. Do you, Prince of Shapir, swear an oath by the river Styx that you have entered the gates of Hades?
You swear by the river Styx that you entered Hades.
An oath by the river Styx cannot be a lie.
It's actually true.
The Prince of Shapir has won the right of courage.
You didn't finish the word, but I think we know what you meant.
Selmaria has been at peace with its neighbors for centuries. Recently, though, a people have turned against our people. A nation wars with us. Although no word of this war has been spoken, I speak now of the lost nation of Atlantis. Though it was buried beneath the waters centuries ago, its people still rule the waves. Now the Tritons have been attacking our ships and driving away our trade. They have shattered the harmony we once all shared. You will seek out the lost city of Atlantis, speak with her queen, and forge a new alliance between their lands and ours. Return with the symbol of the agreement. This is the right of peace.
This one has a peaceful and violent way to solve it, too. I've never been able to do it the peaceful way, but we are going to try. I'm going to want that. I'm going to want that. Alright, so we got a couple of things we got to do real quick. For this rite, we actually do need to talk to the famous adventurer. Otherwise, it can't be done. But he's not an early riser. So we're going to swing by the Science Academy for the last time. Because we are getting near the end of the game. I just like having a magic staff. So, hopefully, I can solve this quest peacefully. Hopefully. Seriously, does my staff have aiming issues? Thank you. It is kind of neat that they did change the animation so that the spell comes out of the staff. I also am going to have a little rant about wizard staffs. I was going to save it till later, but it'll be in this video in just a few minutes, whenever we get some traveling time to kill. That is kind of a neat elevator system. I like that. I'm going to have those put in my apartment. Let's see, what was it? It was fun math, right? You are correct.
You should not have done that. You are not yet mentally prepared for the marvels that science reveals within its secret lab. Please go away.
Oh, I think we're going to talk about this secret lab.
I was just doing some minor adjustments on Gort. He was starting to act a bit heroic, and that would be most unwise. Science should be cautious, not foolhardy. Some people might object to having a reanimated dead creature for a king. However, Gort shall be guided by my scientific genius, and such superstitious prejudice shall be eliminated.
So in case you didn't pick up on that up to this point, Gort is Frankenstein's monster.
You have not yet proved yourself worthy of the knowledge of this laboratory. Kindly forget that you have seen this. Science shall rule Silmaria whether Silmaria wishes it or not. Too long it has suffered from superstitious poppycock under the domination of the so-called wizard. With those charlatans properly drugged, we scientists will reign supreme. Gort is now completely waterproof. He should have no problem seeking Atlantis, assuming that it exists, of course. By the way, try not to mention the fact that Gort isn't quite human. Some people just won't understand. It shall be our little secret. Oh, and that bit about the drugged wizard? Forget you heard that. Why don't you? That's a good lad.
So yeah, that's why the wizards weren't killed merely unconscious. It's because they were drugged by the scientists. I do believe we're going to have to go turn them in. Then we'll talk to the famous adventurer, have a little chat with my girlfriend, and then we'll do this right. And we'll do it left. So, the wizard's staff. We remember from the first game they showed up in 3, that trigger causes them to explode, which I will be able to use to my advantage in the final right. There'll be some centaur wizards. I cast the trigger spell, they'll explode. Why then would any wizard on this planet carry around a staff? Because I learned trigger in the first game. So it's not, a very secret spell. And it makes you blow up if you have a staff.
If you're going to Atlantis, you better find a way to breathe water. No way you can get there without drowning otherwise. I'll let you in on some well-kept secrets because I know you're a good guy. Atlantis isn't out in the middle of the sea. It's right smack dab in the middle of the island of Skyrus, in the lake in the center of the island. Tough getting there, though. Those tritons guard those waters pretty thoroughly.
It's in a lake?
Well, there are a few secret panels I found in Atlantis. The last side panel of the first sections of the wall had a small secret passage. Got me past a guard, if I recall right. Then there was a big circular tower with a shell on it. Yeah, it had a secret passage on the side that led directly to the throne room. You gotta be very sneaky to use them, though. The Tritons will be doing their best to kill all intruders. Hippolyta, that's her name. The Queen, I mean. She and I, well, we had some times together. She called me Silvertongue. She'll remember me. I've been thinking about your next rite. Reminds me of some good times I had a long time ago. Kind of wish I was going with you. You practice your swimming lessons? Sounds like they are going to come in handy for you.
As long as you can swim, you can swim just fine.
You might take the Queen some flowers. Tell her they were from me. She might like that.
You got it, buddy. So there was the secrets about how to peacefully get into Atlantis without fighting my way through everything. By the way, you do not want to cast a lightning bolt in the waters of Atlantis, because it turns out water conducts electricity. Mind you, I don't feel safe running around with this staff now when I know all somebody has to do is cast trigger and I'll explode. Now, one thing we do got to get is something to let us breathe underwater. Irana or Katrina will give it to you. Will you just grab a flower? if you chose not to save either one of them, Irana will actually give you the underwater breathing thing before both of them are sent to oblivion. Proving again that Irana is truly a great and wonderful person, and we are horrible monsters for not bringing her back to life. It just froze there for a minute, and I thought something bad had happened. Hey, honey, I'm home.
May you always be welcome here, and may we always be friends.
Friends.
I am experiencing magic that a creature of the night cannot enjoy. The light of the dawn against a spider's web, glistening with the sea spray. The warmth of the sun against my face. These are immeasurably beautiful. There is much magic in these islands. The island of Skyros particularly has a feel of ancient destructive magic. Marik, too, has a strong underlying presence of dark magic. Be careful, my friend.
Friend, again.
I love Tanya as my own daughter. I hated you so much for taking her from me. I gave her eternal youth. You gave her mortality. It grieves me to think she will be happier in her life without me than she would ever be in the undeath with me. I miss my beloved Tanya, and hope someday she will remember me with kindness.
Can we address the whole being friend-zoned after bringing you back from the dead thing?
You seek the kingdom of the sea? It has been long since I explored the element of the water. I had little interest in its magic then. However, I did make a magical amulet with which to breathe under the blanket of water. You might find it useful now. Here, take this, for you will need it more than I.
Great, I've got the amulet of water breathing. I just remembered I forgot to turn in Gort as an inhuman monster. So we will do that on our way to finally do this right. Then after the right, we talk to Katrina again. I wonder if they'll let me in the nighttime. It's 11 o'clock at night. But one of the contestants for the throne is an animated corpse. That's the kind of news that doesn't really know a time of day. Dude, I'm not going to attack you with my magic staff. It's really not an offensive weapon. But if it'll make you feel better, there. Oh, fine. Oh, I almost forgot about this, too. It's too late to do it now. I said I would try and find out about that whole performing at the inn thing, and I figured out how that works. So much stuff to do.
Wake up! I need to speak with you.
Hey, honey, I am busy.
I am being watched, so I had to make certain no one sees me speaking with you. I believe that my sponsor Minos is behind all of the problems in Silmaria. He acts kind to me, but I do not trust him. He knows too much about what is going on here. I also know he does not like you very much at all. It would not surprise me if the assassin tries to kill you next. You are the biggest threat to Minos. You may be the next king here.
I will be the next king here. I don't think I'm going to try and kiss the warrior.
You received poisoned candy as well? Mine said that it was from you. I threw it away immediately. I knew that you would not do such a thing.
I have not had the pleasure to see the assassin, but I am looking forward to the meeting. I too carry antidote, and I am very capable of making him pay for the deaths he has brought here. I believe that Minos wishes to be king of Marit. His family once ruled this island, and he believes that he should as well. He is trying to use me to gain control of the kingdom, but he is learning that I do not follow orders very well. I'm not such a good little girl as he first believed. I must be very cautious. I cannot be seen speaking with you again. If Minos suspects that I am working with you rather than against you, I think both of us will be the target of the assassin. You are correct. I must be returning to Minos' ship before I am missed. I will see you in the Hall of Kings. Take care.
Elsa puts out the torches and softly sneaks out of your room. How did she get in here anyway? That wasn't me asking. That's the... You awaken refreshed the next morning and prepare to turn in a corpse. I have news! I have news! One of the contestants is a corpse! I want in!
We are not here to answer questions. This is the Hall of Kings. No one enters without permission. We are not tour guides. Ask a merchant in the town square.
Can I... But... Maybe it's too early? I thought I had to turn Gord in. I don't think that's an automatic thing. The spell does not work on this. It's cute if you try to break into houses using the open spell in this game. They're like, really? You think nobody's heard of the open spell? Fine. You know what? I could wait until evening and do a little show at the Gnome Inn, but I really feel like we're running behind as it is, so let's go and try and do this right. Take a look at our map, see if I can remember where Skyros is. There it is. It says it's supposed to be in the lake, in the middle, and yet it's over here. Oh, I forgot to equip the... Hey, that's probably going to make a difference, don't you think? Let's see if I can do this peacefully. I'd hate for this to go the hard way. Peace, my brothers. I'd like to go in the pipe. Dude! That was uncalled for. What is up with him taking a long way around this damn thing? There. Alright, step 1 done without raising an alarm. Oh, I'm swimming for miles in a passage and finding a light and exiting. That really feels like it should not have been that hard. The controls are horrific. Alright, it's one of these doors. It says it's damaged and I'm not strong enough to move it? I'm a wizard, you son of a bitch! Open up! My strength is almost at max. So maybe it's on the other side. Don't mind me, just creeping around trying to find a secret passage. Doing good so far in terms of not raising an alarm, not so good in terms of being able to, open and use secret passageways. Hold on. That's a tower with a clamshell on it. Am I gonna have to do this the hard way because for some reason I can't open up a door? I seem to be trapped back here now. Invisible walls are trapping me. Don't mind me, I'm over your heads. Very sneaky. Huh. Haha! It seems designed to open from the inside. Oh my god, the controls for swimming are horrible.
You there, intruder! Come no farther!
I brought you flowers.
I order you to stay where you are, or we shall destroy you.
I really brought you flowers.
I have not seen such things in years. Why have you brought these here? What is the point of telling me about an old air breather? I have no interest in your affection. No matter what magic allows you to breathe our water, you still belong on the land. Silvertongue, I have not heard that name for years. He used to bring me flowers. Why has he sent you? Silvertongue was a rogue who stole my heart and broke it. Still, he brought me a joy I have never known elsewhere, in the name of someone who was once dear to me. What do you ask of me?
You ask for peace between the people of Atlantis and Silmaria.
For the sake of an old friend, it shall be so. However, it will be a fragile peace. If any of my people are harmed by yours, this treaty shall be broken. Here is a statue as a sign of our agreement. Tell Silvertongue I have not forgotten. This rogue who would be king wants peace with us. We shall
I'm a
grant
wizard,
him
not a
peace,
rogue.
as long as our people are unharmed by it. Go, and may you earn the kingdom you seek, and the peace you bring here.
You were escorted out of Atlantis, thank goodness. My swimming stats gone up a bit. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. I got to go talk to Katrina and then turn in the statue next time. But I did it. I did it peacefully.